education program. I'm so glad that all of you are here. Our speakers today are going to be Pamela Broom, Naomi Imerstag, and Maya Cedric. Pamela is the principal of the Niner University Elementary School in the West Boulevard corridor, where I also work. And Naomi and Maya are teachers there. I've been a children's librarian at public libraries for about 20 years now, and I've worked at a public Montessori school. And I have seen lots of schools come and go that say they're doing something new and something different, something that's not been done before. But I have to say, for me, this really has been, I'm seeing something really new and really different at Niner University Elementary, especially considering that it is a free public school. And so without further delays, I will let Pamela go ahead and get started with her presentation.
Thank you, Teresa. We were very excited to be here. And at this time, I think we're going to pull up our presentation and jump right into sharing.
Thank you so much. So once again, my name is Maya Cedric, and I would like to, we'll just tell you about Niner University. So 3 of our main key focal points of our school would be, number 1, trauma-invested practices. We are a school focused on trauma and how we can help the students work through those trauma experiences that they've had in their life. Number 2, evidence-based teaching and learning. That's also a key focal component that we focus on. And number 3, family and community engagement. And so what we're going to do today is talk about each of these key components. So when we look at trauma-invested practices, we really, focus on emotional regulation, and we replace that through, that is replaced with the token economy. So normally in the traditional schools, you'll see a lot of that token economy. Well, we focus on trying to teach the students how to self-regulate, how can they identify their emotions, teaching them various emotions that they are experiencing, being able to identify those emotions, and as in a result, how can they move forward? How can they work through the emotions that they are feeling? And so what that looks like, is a tool, a variety of resources. And what really sets Niner apart is I like to look at it as if, for an example, just to help paint a picture. For example, if you are, experiencing migraine headaches, so I'm having these very, very bad headaches every day, and I can't even get through my regular routine the activities because of these headaches. And so you go to the doctor prescribes you a medicine and send you back home. Well, you keep having these headaches and you cannot get through your day. Would you rather go to a doctor who's going to just slap a Band-Aid on and give you a prescription, or would you rather go to a doctor who's going to dig to the root and say, oh, well, let's dig a deeper and see, why are you having these headaches? And so that's how I look at Niner. We are going to dig and we are going to problem solve to figure out why are our students displaying these behaviors, because we know that children demonstrate various behaviors because they're trying to communicate something to us. And so in your traditional school, we've always seen, sending the student to OSS or in-school suspension. That's not really problem solving. That's not doing anything but having the kid miss instruction. And so we really try to dig deep and figure out why the students are displaying these behaviors. And so part of our resources we have here, one of the committees on the school is the HEART team. And so with the HEART team, they're going to help to respond to the trauma that the students experiences. And a lot of times that is through grade level meetings, or even if the individual teacher needs support, that HEART team is there to support the student and this teacher, you know, so that they both can be successful. Some other trauma invested practices that we have here at Niner. Each student receives a sensory toolkit. So if they are, you know, needing to self-regulate, they have a toolkit that they can use daily. We have sensory paths throughout the building that students, you know, can use. And then there's a co-regulation chart that they're able to, you know, use to help regulate themselves so they can, you know, get back to the place where they are, you know, need to be in order to, you know, continue on their day. We also have a care team. And so with the care team, that team specifically do a lot of the digging that I was speaking of earlier. You know, if they're making home visits, calling around, calling their homes, trying to figure out, okay, well, this your son or daughter has been doing this, and we were trying to figure out, is there anything going on at home? What can we help you with? This team really brings a lot of information to the team, especially the teacher, that kind of, oh, well, this is why he's doing this. You know, they did not have a dinner last night, or, you know, something very major is going on. And so this team is vital to the success of the student. So we really look forward, you know, we need that care team. So some other practices, of course, you can see here, we do have play therapy. There's a room dedicated in our building that allows the students to obtain this therapy. Also, this year we're looking forward to music therapy. We at the end of our school year last year, we had the awesome opportunity to experience the drum circle, and they donated drums to our school. So we look forward to using those this year. I know it's going to bring a lot of great things to the school. And we also look towards building relationship, student parent relationships between the students and the parents, relationship between the parent and the school, the parents and the students, just everyone building relationship. One of the other things that we really use on our daily basis is the windows of stress tolerance. And this is displayed throughout all of the classrooms. So the students are able to identify their stress levels. And this is something that's incorporated daily within their social emotional curriculum and our morning meetings.
Thank you, Maya. So once again, my name is Naomi Oberstag, and I'm going to take you through some things we do with our teaching and learning. So as Maya just mentioned, every day, each classroom has a morning meeting. And with that, we have a social emotional learning curriculum, and that is embedded in the morning meeting. And then every afternoon before students leave, the classes have a closing meeting as well. And literacy, we use a program called Center for a Collaborative Classroom, and that includes, we use being a reader, being a writer, and then there's a vocabulary portion as well embedded in that. And then math, we use a curriculum called Bridges, and we supplement with some other materials that really teach foundational math skills. Science, we use National Geographic. And then this year we're excited to do more arts integration within all of the subject areas. And so we have an arts integration coordinator this year, and so we're so thankful to have her. And along with all those subjects, students will receive small group instruction in both literacy and math daily based on their ability level. So with all of these things, our main goal is to show academic growth from the beginning of the year, where the students start each year, until the end of the year. So that is our primary goal, is to show individual student growth throughout the year and to build on where they began the school year and the skills that they specifically need. So with that, a big help with that is we do have small class sizes. So this past year it was one teacher at every 10 students. This next year we're looking one teacher to 10 to 12 students and a full-time teacher assistant in every classroom. And our teacher assistants are trained as well in our curriculum, and they support with small group as well with interventions. So specifically our SIPs, which is systematic instruction and phonological awareness, phonics and sight words. And so our teacher assistants are crucial in that area as well, to keep our groups, 2 to 3 students apiece. And we also have support from the UNC Charlotte faculty. We have 2 reading professors who come and they attend PLC meetings with teachers and look at student data and help them with strategies to better meet the needs of our students. And this past year, we were remote until March, but when the building did open, some of the faculty came out and assisted in classrooms, pulling small groups, reading with students. And so we're looking forward to having them be able to come out more regularly this school year. We also had UNC student interns. Maya briefly spoke about play therapy. We had student interns working with play therapy, and we'll also have teacher interns and some students who will come out and pull small groups as well. That's it. I'm going to let Ms. Broom speak about family and community engagement.
Yeah, so thank you, Maya and Naomi, for talking a little bit about some of our just basic information. And for those of you who this is really new to you, maybe you haven't heard much about Niner University Elementary, we are what's considered a lab school. We are a part of UNC Charlotte. Everyone that's employed at Niner University Elementary, that's the reason why we're the Niners, right? Are UNC Charlotte employees. And so our curriculum, our operations, all of that is designed and maintained by the university. And our sole purpose here is to provide enhanced educational experiences to students that might not otherwise have them. We are a free public school, and we are not a lottery, so it is on a first come, first served basis. So as you hear more about us, if you're interested, we are still accepting applications for kids in kindergarten through 3rd grade. But as you've heard Maya and Naomi talk about, we are unique in the respect that we provide full wraparound services for our children. We believe that social and emotional learning is as important, if not more important, than academics, right? We have to build safe, trusting relationships with our children and let them be in a place where they're ready to learn before they can learn. And so that's really key for us. And that's why Trauma Invested is so important, because we all live in different varying levels of stress. But how do we learn to manage those emotions and what that really looks like? But part of that is family and community engagement, right? Here in the West Charlotte community, we have lots of strengths, lots of assets that people bring to the table. So we want to capitalize on those and help build capacity for our families as well. So through UNC Charlotte, we actually have built here on our campus, we have a room that's called the Parent/UNCC room. And it has two purposes. One is it's a place for parents to come and do things that they need to do here to learn. We can do laundry here. Or it's a place for our UNC Charlotte students to come and learn and have classes on campus, because we are a lab school. And so there's opportunities for teacher candidates to come and learn here and be able to go out into the schools and practice clinicals with supervision. But this year in our parent program, it was all virtual. But Charlotte faculty members volunteered, UNC Charlotte people. We did from the Career Center for Career Readiness. They did workshops on just resume writing, job hunting. We had some health and wellness workshops. We did financial literacy. So just a few to kind of get us started during this first year, but we are interested in growing this program and interested in hearing from our families what kinds of opportunities for learning you would like for us to offer here so that you can come and be engaged in the learning process. And of course, we want people to have an opportunity to learn. Our staff has participated in child-teacher relationship training, but we want to be able to offer child-parent relationship training to kind of mirror some of the practices that we're putting in place to help students really connect to their emotions and be able to manage those a little bit better. Last year, our students did not have to purchase a single supply. We were able to supply everything all year long. And even though we were virtual for much of the year, we had remote learning drive-throughs. So students did not depend on their devices. They actually had teacher-led instruction every single day. But what they had at home was a remote learning toolkit that had, manipulatives in it and whiteboards and dry erase markers and counters and all those things that are developmentally appropriate for K-2 students. We provided those, and then every 6 weeks or so, we would have another drive-through event for our families to come and get more. And this year, we do not anticipate that our students will need to purchase any supplies. We're going to be able to create a toolkit for every kid to have in the classroom. So rather than sharing anything to kind of reduce chances of spreading any kind of germs with the pandemic and all, each kid will have an individual learning box that will have all the school supplies they need in that box. We are very cognizant of the fact that children have not been vaccinated. And so we want to be mindful of keeping them safe at all times when they are at school. So we've put a lot of things in place for that. As I said, we are a free public school and we are not a part of CMS, but we do have a partnership with them that allows our students to provide transportation and food services. So we do provide buses for our students anywhere in Mecklenburg County. And we also provide breakfast and lunch for our students through the nutrition program with CMS. And then additionally, we provide snacks for our students at a scheduled time every day. And then we also have in every single classroom what we call anytime snacks, because sometimes I'm sure even as adults, you've experienced being what people call hangry, right? I'm so hungry, I'm a little angry and frustrated. I feel that sometimes, but we don't want our kids to have that experience. So we keep anytime snacks on hand so that if a student is hungry and they need a mid-morning snack, they can get something. And still be able to go back to work and stay focused for the day. That's really important for us. We do maintain a learning management system. I think for most of our parents, if you're in CMS, that was canvassed during the last year, but we utilize a tool called Seesaw, which is very user-friendly. Our kindergarten children could even use it on their own, but our teachers can upload materials. We can share out announcements, but our families can contact us as well. And the really cool thing is if your child is here and they write a beautiful story, they can read the beautiful story, upload it right there into Seesaw, and parents can see it in real time. Students can respond to each other's work that way. And then we can keep analytics on the kind of feedback that people are keeping, teachers are giving to their students. And so it's really exciting. As I think Maya mentioned earlier, we did a couple of really nice events for families this year. or last year, and we hope to continue it. This past year, we made sure that everybody had a Thanksgiving meal, along with a turkey and of course a sweet potato pie, right? Everybody needs that for Thanksgiving. And then we did some things at the holidays right before the winter break where we shared some gifts. This past year, we were fortunate to give a bicycle to every child. I don't know that we can do that every year, but it was really great to have that experience and be able to offer some support to our families during the holidays, as we know that can be a challenge. We thought we'd share some fun pictures from those drive-through events. You see a picture of our staff at the November event at Anthony Morrow Charities. Some of you may know Anthony Morrow. He's a former NBA player who was from the West Charlotte area. He has partnered with the school for a number of events this year, and we expect that to continue. But they are the ones who provided the Thanksgiving meals. And we even had a DJ out there as people came through the drive-thru so we could have a little fun with everyone. But we also have partnered this last year with the Black Child Development Institute, and we expect to continue to do that so that children can receive books and build their own personal libraries. Last year at this November event, we gave away 3 books for every family member. We currently have summer camp happening here, and our summer camp is for everyone, not just for our struggling learners, but for all learners here. And we're giving away 3 more books courtesy of Bank of America. We're really excited about helping our children build their personal libraries. The December event, we titled the Polar Express, and as you can see, Santa came and visited. It was really a lot of fun, but you see the 70 bicycles that were out there for our students. And because we want everybody to be safe, and a big thank you to our local Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department right here on West Boulevard. They provided helmets for the kids to go with their bicycles to make sure that we were safe on our bikes. We gave out coats, hats, and gloves, and everybody got a Niner University sweatshirt because you need to represent when you're out playing in the wintertime, right? It was a really fun day and just a nice way for us to try to stay connected to our families in a remote situation where we weren't able to invite people into the building. We've had some really great partnerships this year, and I anticipate those growing with us. Teresa Kane, who is on here with us, has partnered with me for, I think, almost 3 years now, ever since we knew that the school was going to be in West Boulevard. And I remember coming out and spending days at the library Saturday mornings, just trying to recruit students to come here. And they've been a huge partner and advocate for us. So thank you for that, Teresa, and to the library as well. The Dixon Academy here, we've done some evening events with them, helping our pre-kindergarten students get ready for kindergarten and know what is coming with that. We do have an event happening at the Stratford Richardson YMCA on August the 4th at 5:30. And that event is kind of a recruiting event, but we want to be able to tell people more about us. And so there will be some fun community things happening there. I think we're going to have a bouncy house and some music and some fun things happening. One of our really biggest partnerships has been with the Greater Enrichment Program, which many of you watching this may be familiar with. GEP has been in the Charlotte area for, I think, at least 40, 50 years. It's a well-established organization, and they partner with some other schools. But this summer, we do have summer camp happening here. And so in the mornings, UNC Charlotte has a program that is a very literacy intensive program where our students are getting some work on their decoding skills as well as their integrated literacy learning. And so they get 2 hours of intensive literacy every day in a 1 to 3 group setting. So 1 teacher for 3 students or less. But then GEP provides enrichment for them in the afternoons. They've been able to have golf and tennis and messy science, and they've done some gym mining, just some really cool things. And the beauty of that is GEP will also be here next year, so that we will have an after-school program for students who need that service. It will be a free service, and we're a late start school, so we start from 9:15 to 4:15. So the Greater Enrichment After School Care will be from 4:15 to 6:15. And again, that is a free service for our families. Moving forward, we're partnering with PBS Kids to do some really cool teacher training. They'll be able to come here and work with students during the course of the day, but also some evening events with families where we can partner and provide some resources to you. And then the Yes Academy works with us to provide some additional special support. Our students really loved Ms. Connor, who came out here and did PE with them last year. And as Maya mentioned earlier, we're going to have a drum circle next year. We have all the drums here, thanks to Elevation Church, who provided those to us. And our students will be able to participate in that. It's really great for social and emotional learning, and it's amazing for just building community. I saw a drum circle at the West Library last fall, I think, or spring, right? And that was a lot of fun. And then we have a teacher here who is a violinist and has taught violin for years. So recently, 14 violins were donated to the schools. So we will be able to start a strings program for our students in the fall as well. So arts integration is really important to us. As I said, our goal is to provide enhanced educational opportunities. And that's not just academics, that's developing the whole child and identifying what their strengths are. What you see here, this picture was taken on the very last day of school this year out on our playground. Most of our friends are here. Some students, it was the last day of school, they didn't come. We did have 70 students this last year in kindergarten through second grade. We are adding a grade level, so we'll have kindergarten through third grade next year. And with that, we are doubling our enrollment. So we're looking at 160 students next year. But as Ms. Moberstag said, we are still planning to remain with small class sizes with only 10 or 12 students in a classroom, because we want to be certain that every student can get what they really need. Ms. Moberstag was a first grade teacher last year, and at some point in the day, she had a kindergarten student who came to her for their literacy time because that's what they needed. And we know that that is important to do those small groups so that students can get what they need, and not just what every first grader gets, but what every child needs. And that's our goal. We tried to hit a lot of our highlights in this time and thinking about what people might want to know about the school. But if anybody has any questions or something to add, we're happy to answer questions and share.
I have a question for you. I was just wondering what's in a sensory toolkit and what is in a sensory path?
Wonderful. So a sensory toolkit is really great. So, you know, kids often play with fidgets and things like that help them. If I'm really stressed, I think the most popular one right now is the little Pop-It. I'm just looking around to see if I have one right here in my room. But something that they can use with their hands that's very tactile, that they can touch and manipulate, because when I'm really stressed, right, it kind of helps me to have a way to sort of relieve what I'm doing. So that's definitely one of our options for the students. And the sensory path, I wish we had a picture. I didn't even think to put one in this presentation. But a sensory path is a path on the floor where students might walk heel to toe, they might hop, they might do some jumping jacks along the way, but it's a place where I can get out and sort of physically express myself and get my emotions out. I know more than once this year as a Heart Team member, I have brought a student out and we've done the path together. It's been good for me to stay physically fit, because I mean, I've done a lot of jumping jacks this last year. I'm not saying it's a pretty sight, but it helps everybody to kind of just get those emotions out and calm down so that I'm in a place where I can talk. One of the things that has been important for me, and I don't know where Naomi and Maya sit with this, but is that anytime a Heart Team member talks to a kid, or we have to push in or pull a student out, we reflect with them. right? We help them to sort of name what emotion you were feeling and what caused you to feel that way, and then what helped you to get to a better place, because we want students to start internalizing the work that they do to be in a better place so that they can utilize that skill wherever they are. So great question. Go ahead,
I
Maya.
wouldn't mind having one of those at the library, honestly. It sounds like a cool
They
idea.
are a lot of fun. I highly recommend it if you can do it. The kids would love it.
And I had another question. So, and I think you answered this, but I just want to reiterate. So anybody can apply, like any child that is in the window. And can you share with us like how a parent would go to apply? Do they come to the school? Do they go online?
Thank you. That's a great question. Yes, anyone who is assigned to a school in Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, and you don't have to be attending, like if you were assigned to a CMS school, but you're at a private school or a charter school, you can still apply as long as you're assigned to a CMS school. And that's just because that's who our LEA partner is right now. But it's easy to apply. You can go to our website. It's in like Niner, UENUE uncc.edu. So if you go to the website, you'll see in the top in the browser, there's a place where it says apply. Just click on apply. It's a Google form. It takes probably less than 3 minutes to fill it out. We're just going to ask for some basic information, the student's name, birth date, what grade they're in. We do ask for the address, parent contact information, and then what school you're assigned to, and then what school you're attending, because those are not always the same. Thank you so much for sharing that. You see the apply button right there in the top at the banner, and you go right there, and you can watch a video with Miss Fedrick on there if you want to before you apply. But absolutely, you can do that, and then you can always reach us at the school, which is our phone number here is 980-343-0733. We do have summer camp happening here right now. So someone's here all day, every day, but we're happy to answer questions that way.
And then how many classrooms per grade level?
So next year, we anticipate 4 kindergarten classrooms, 4 first grade classrooms, and right now with our numbers, it looks like 2 second grade and 2 third grade. But we do still have openings in all 4 grade levels. We've got,
I was going to tell folks too, if they wanted applications, just plain old fashioned paper applications, we have them at the West Boulevard Library, and they are very, very simple to fill out. It won't take you long to do it.
For assessments, you take all the same assessments as CMS, like what, the end of grade? No, you don't do M-class.
As a lab school, the only thing we have to do is we do have to do the end of grade testing. We are required to do that. I'll let Naomi, she's will be our curriculum coordinator this year, but we are doing assessments a little bit differently here, and we have kind of a combination of things happening, because as you can imagine, if you want to know what a student needs this week, right, you've got to do some real-time assessments. Now, we don't stop and assess. A lot of it's just sort of embedded in the program itself, so that oftentimes kids don't even recognize that they're taking assessment. It's just part of what we do. But it lets us then be really responsive in our planning. And I'll let Naomi talk about that just a little bit more and what the plan is for next year.
Yes, so we will have third grade this coming school year, 2021-2022. So they will take the beginning of grade test and the end of grade test. But as far as K through 2, we have some flexibility. So we have decided to go with what the state adopted for kindergarten through second grade as far as literacy. So our students will be assessed using DIBELS, kindergarten through third grade. But that's not the only thing. We will use that data, would assess beginning of year, middle of year, and end of year. But then also we have specific intervention programs, our SIPS program, which is our phonological awareness program. And we'll do ongoing assessing with that and placing students exactly where they need in their small groups. whether it's oral reading fluency or, exactly what the child needs. And then math, same thing, we'll have ongoing assessments for their math interventions for exactly what they need, standards-based based on the North Carolina Standard Courses study.
So, and I want to point out that for us, when we do those interventions that Naomi talked about, we don't pull kids out of other things for interventions. We have built that into the regular literacy and math time so that students aren't singled out and they don't miss out on fun things so that they can get an intervention, but they do get interventions every single day in real time, and they're getting what they need without others even recognizing, right? And so that kind of relieves some of that, or removes a lot of that stigma, or I'm missing out on something fun because I have to go to my intervention class. It's just a part of the structured day, and we're able to do that because of the capacity we have here with, our small classroom sizes, plus having a TA in every classroom.
And the same thing, I want to point out too, Ms. Broom, the same thing with our English language learners. Our ESL teacher comes to the classroom and pushes in. And so she may not work with just them, but she would pull a small group of students from that classroom.
And
Same
Ms.
thing.
Federick,
Maya can speak a little bit more to that.
Yeah, Ms. Federick is not just, she's our EC teacher, but she's also our EC coordinator who coordinates all of our exceptional children's services here, because anything that a child can get in any other public school, we do offer here. And so, Ms. Federick, you might want to talk a little bit about what that looks like and then what direct and indirect services we're able to provide.
So yes, with our exceptional children's department, we actually serve students with various disabilities, ranging from learning disabilities, autism, behavior, emotional disabilities. And so we offer those services to all those students who have been identified. And even with related services, we have we provide speech therapy, and also occupational therapy. And based on the students' IEPs, of course, that may look like, pushing in to this to the general ed classroom, but we also, in certain cases, pull out the students for that resource location. And so whatever the student needs, we, focus on the specific needs so that they can be successful. And I'm sorry, Naomi, I wanted to just give a visual. I know Ms. Broom explained.
So I was just gonna say.
Teresa had a question about the sensory toolkit. And so I know Ms. Broom explained it to her, but just to give you a visual, I sent this to Naomi so she could share the visual picture of the toolkit as well as the sensory path and exactly what it looks like.
Can you see it, Maya?
Yes, scroll up just a little bit, Naomi, for the sensory.
Yeah,
no, scroll down, I guess. Yep. Sorry, we want to see the sensory path, and you see break time is built in there. We have calming corners. We weren't able to capitalize on those last year, obviously, because of the pandemic, but every classroom has a calming corner. If a child needs to just take a break and go be in their own little space, there's a rug and a bean bag and some questions and things that they can do there. And then just sometimes it's a nap. Sometimes that's exactly what I need. And so we try to make sure that that's there. We do also provide, as Maya said, we have outside caregivers with, we contract with for speech and language, for occupational therapy, whatever the services are that a child needs, they're provided here. And additionally, this coming year, we're going to partner with mental health so that we can provide wraparound services here. So our students can, as opposed to having to go somewhere to get mental health services, they will be able to come here to the school and provide mental health services. They also have provide medication management if that's necessary, or in-home intensive therapies. So lots of opportunities for us to make sure that our students' mental health needs are met as well. And we just have some really good partnerships with that.
Okay, I just have one quick question before we go. You had mentioned that you have a parent UNC room. and that it has laundry facilities in it. Do you also have computers? that
Yes,
people
there are.
can-
Yes, we have computers in there for our families to be able to access, and then there are some we have a media IT specialist, so he can pull some things down as well, smaller devices for parents to be able to use in there.
Okay, that's great. We have come to the end of the time that we have for this. I feel like we could have asked another 10 more questions, but I will respect your time. I just wanted to share that we have a book list of books that are related to the topic of reimagining elementary schools and doing things that are new and different. The books that are illustrated here are just a small portion of the books that are on the list. I hope that you will look that up, and as soon as we are able to get this particular program up on our YouTube channel, we'll have a link to that too. So it will all be there in one place for you. But I really wanted to thank the three of you, Pamela, Maya, and Naomi. You were wonderful, and I so appreciate what you're doing for the kids in the community where I work. And I really wish that I could have gone to a school like this when I was a kid. So with that, I will say goodbye and thank you so much for everything that you've already done and the things that you are going to be doing that we don't even know anything about. But I just wanted to thank you for the difference that you're making in the community. It is, you're truly amazing. And I'm very proud to have a school like this in my community.